That Gisborne's put in the order for the weather. I can say that being someone who's almost a resident out that way, but this is very much Bulldog weather rather than maybe what Sandhurst would like to see this morning. The banner is in shreds out on the outside for Sandhurst. That hasn't gone well, but both teams entering the arena and ready to go. And we know that they've got such proud histories in the under-18s, both of these two clubs. And they've put on a pretty good performance this morning. You'd imagine that banner has absolutely been ripped apart on the outer side. It is very wet as the rain falls. It's been a reasonably clear morning at the QEO, but the rain is certainly coming in now. It's going to make things pretty tricky out there this morning.
And also like to welcome to the broadcast. We've seen a lot of under-18 football over the years. Ben Dyett, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good morning, John. Not used to this sort of weather. Usually grand final day it's nice and sunny and warm, but that rain's going to make a big difference today, I think.
Yeah, and look, it's almost coming in at right angles from... Looks
in there as well, so they are a powerful club. They do a good job of it, and much like Sandhurst, these two sides have met 5 times in grand finals. Sandhurst in under-18s footy, Sandhurst have won 3 of those, so 2006, 2013, 2014, Gisborne in 2002, and then most recently, we were here a couple of years ago, Harry Jones kicked 5 before he got drafted to Essendon, and they won by 3 points in an absolute thriller, so fingers crossed we get something like that today.
Yeah, let's hope so, and notoriously, some of the under-18s games that we have called have been really gone down to the wire, so as both clubs come to the middle to toss in a soggy looking middle at the QEO, it looks like joint captains in there as the umpire will, and for both teams in fact, there's 4
co-captains. So James Fox and Darcy Lockins for Sandhurst, Nash Dignan and Seth Morris are the captains for Gisborne, and Nash Dignan and Seth Morris are the captains for Sandhurst.
So they look for the coin in the mud, and it looks like Sandhurst has won the toss, and they will kick to the city end, which I think is a good move, Ben, because looking at that rain, which is still, well, it's not tumbling down, but it's solid enough, but it's almost coming at right angles, so that indicates a pretty strong advantage to Sandhurst.
Oh, for sure, yeah, and that rain is side on, isn't it? But look, I've got a love for Sandhurst, but I'm a bit worried about the conditions now for them. I think, how they're going to control Luxmore. Well, he's kicked 68 goals, is that right, this year? But then there's Arata, I don't know how many he's played, but he's kicked 57, so...
Arata's played 6, so 17 games for Dayton Arata.
Right, so he's kicked, 57 goals, so geez, if one of those forwards gets going, could be, but then again, it's not a day for forwards, is it?
No.
And certainly not for full forwards, anyway.
Well, you just never know, do you? It's just get back to those basics in these wet weather and make sure you stick to your structures and don't overpossess the footy is probably the biggest thing I would imagine, particularly with that pressure on.
Yeah, a massive pressure. And like I said, guys will be out there thinking, what on earth's going on? This is not what I expected in a game of football.
You see Sandhurst lining up in front of the grandstand expecting the national anthem to be played. It only happens before the senior game. So the under-18s, they're actually ready very early. This is scheduled for a 9:15 bounce. So they are very keen this morning, these two sides.
Yeah, and well, the umpires are in no great hurry. Look, Joel, interesting, Don Moran, who will join us for the senior game, he mentioned that he thought that just the wet weather and the continuity that Gisborne wouldn't be able to achieve because they weren't able to train together might have an influence in the senior game. So that'll be interesting to see if that's an effect in the under-18s as well.
I know their under-18s haven't been training at Gardner Reserve in recent weeks, so it'll be interesting. But Sandhurst have got the wood over them so far this season, a couple of big ends at Chapes is an absolute ripper.
Just about to get things underway here in the under-18 grand final for season 2022. Sandhurst are taking on Gisborne at a soggy QEO. To take us for the first bounce, for the first throw up here this morning, here's Joel Peterson.
So two of the power clubs in under-18 footy for a long time. As always, there's some big bodies out there, 2 of them in Seb Collins and Jesse Evans about to crash in the opening bounce. Grand final day at the QEO is underway. And isn't it good to be back? Straight away, some pressure on the ball. Comes out to Carr for the Dragons on the grandstand side. He got a shove. And so he's going to get a free kick. It was Ainsworth who was in his back for the Dogs. So Alex Carr, the Carisbrook product, drops it on the right boot, sends a long ball to the edge of the 50. Looking for Urata in the pack. He's brought down in front of him, trying to get a kick away. There was Schnorr, couldn't get boot to ball. Spills out now to Fox. He's tackled. And It's going to be locked up right half forward. Sandhurst kicking to the city end in this opening turn. Rain continues to tumble down here at the QEO.
Yes, there's both sides feeling their way here in a soggy QEO. Up they go in the ruck, congested bit of play. Salvador in there on hands and knees. Socket off the ground by Sandhurst by Gillies, and it was a good mark dive by Day Wicks, who'll have a shot at goal. 40 metres out from the big sticks. I'm not sure if he's got the leg in these conditions.
He might have at the start of this game, but the ball's going to get heavier. But that's, we've got to expect a lot of kicks off the ground, and we've got to play in front of their opponent, be ready for those scrambling kicks like he's just done.
The man on the marks probably stands at 42. Not quite a 45-degree angle to the city end. Day Wicks now. Footer. It was an awkward-looking kick. It's not going to make the distance. It was offline anyway. Bills off the pack and goes through for a minor score. So the first score in the 2022 grand final. Sandhurst are one behind. Gisborne yet to score, and we've travelled a minute after opening turn.
Day Wicks, one of the inclusions. Got Pioneers games throughout the course of the season. Of course, the son of the multiple-time Harding medalist Tim, one of our own here on Fresh Live Footy. Kick goes out toward Gillies, who couldn't keep it in for the Dragons at left half forward. It'll be tossed back into play. In front of the scoreboard. Fresh Bendigo grand final footy. Overcast skies here at the QEO. Evans makes his way to the ruck contest for Gisborne. Controls it down. Handball inside the forward 50 for the Dragons. Jones is there for the Dogs. Simpson's over the top of the footy. He's locked up. Ball's not coming out of there. And we'll have a ball up 40 out from the Sandhurst goal.
Rain's eased off a bit too.
Yeah, just momentarily. It is due to just ease during the afternoon. In after the footy was Salvador for the Dragons. Nice little handball out, but a hurried kick. Slews off the side of the boot. It's getting slippery out there already. Good strong tackling by James of the Dogs. But we might have a free kick picked out. It might be for a trip. And it will go the way of Sandhurst. I reckon a free kick will go to Oliver Morris. So he's probably marginally closer than the last shot at goal by Day Wicks. Let's just see what he can do. He's on a pretty tight angle underneath the scoreboard. Gone 4 minutes in this opening term. Sandhurst have only got that minor on the board. And I think this might test him as well, Ben.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see what he does with the footy.
Every time we say that, they seem to score.
It's a long ball. It won't make the distance. It was on line. Just touched on the goal line. They thought it was a major, but it wasn't. The umpire was right on it. So another minor. Dragons 2 behind. Gisborne yet to score. 4.5 gone first term. Live major finals football on Fresh Bendigo.
They're rolling the ball at the moment, Sandhurst. An awkward kick out from Phoenix James from fullback. He stubbed his toe and it just dribbled along the ground out in front of the scoreboard. And it'll be tossed back in. That's not exactly a nerve settler, Ben Dyer.
Certainly not. That was a shocking kick. Let's put some pressure on them now.
So still locked up across half forward for the Dragons. Tossed back in. Evans controls it down for the Dogs. There is James for Gisborne. Got his kick away. This time it didn't go much further than his previous attempt. Simpson crashes through. Comes out to DeMail for the Dragons. Handball is to Oliver Morris. Paddles it along the ground. Ainsworth goes to ground. In fact, it is Ainsworth who got a shove. And so Jared Ainsworth will take a free kick. 38 for his defensive goal. Plays on dangerously. Now Mins for the Dogs. His brother Ethan will be in action in the seniors this afternoon. Carr just thumps it back inside forward 50. Almost the mark to Simpson. Couldn't quite take it. Spills to the deck. Flying shot at goal. Touched on the way through off the boot there of Archer Patterson. A minor score. 3 behind Sandhurst. Yet to score Gisborne through 5.5 of the opening term. It's a Fresh Life Score sponsor. Bendigo Bolt Carpets.
Phoenix James for the Dogs will kick it in. He'll bring it broadcast side. He trots off from full back, and then on the left he puts it, well, it didn't go beyond 50. Getting his hands on the footy for the Dragons was Carr. Juggling mark with a wet footy. He's a big strapping lad, Carr. Pretty tight angle. Way too far to score. We've seen already, even though the wind is going to that city end, it goes to the top of the square. He's kicked it straight to rebound. Kicked beyond 50 now. Comes towards the boundary line off hands. Couldn't quite get his hands on the footy. Lockins, and we'll have another ball in. We're 70 out from goal. Sandhurst lead 3 behind. Gisborne yet to score. 6.5 turn.
Darcy Lockins, 38 goals on the season for the Romsey product. Toss back in again, it's Collins and Evans decisively just uses his frame to stand in front. Nice pace shown by Xavier Austin. Tried to burst away with the ball, goes to ground inside the forward 50 for the Dragons. Freak got taken down, spills out the back. Dave Wicks was a chance. Ainsworth got his kick away. On the bounce out to Shane Clough at half-back for the Dogs. Loops the handball now to Wilson, who into the back. Morris,
that's nearly 50.
So it was a low kick, an awkward one off the boot of Fox it was. And Morris will be marched within 40 of goal, just better than a 45-degree angle to the right.
A bit stiff, was he? I don't think he realised that it hit him in the back of the head and marked it, and Gisborne players just thought, oh, this is play on. Didn't realise he'd marked it, so it's going to be costly.
So Seb Morris, the co-captain for the Dragons. Bottom age player, played a couple in the under-16 Pioneers throughout the year. 3 goals from his 14 games. Can he get the first on grand final day? No.
Hit the post.
The iron. You could hear it clang in the distance as it grazed the outside of the right-hand goalpost. 4 behinds the Dragons. Gisborne yet to score. Dominant start from Sandhurst. 8 minutes gone first term. Fresh Bendigo, grand final footy, high score sponsor, Breach Apparel Bendigo.
Simpson for the Dogs kicked it in. It was a short pass and found Kerr. Kerr now goes beyond 50, taking it down the swing pool side. Good punch from behind. Drag into his Banfield, did well towards the boundary line, and we'll have another ball in.
One thing we know about grand finals is, Ben, you need to take your chances when you get them.
Certainly, I was just thinking the same thing. They've kicked 4 points, and 3 of those should have been goals, and that could be costly.
Dragons attack across half forward, doing the ruck work for the Dragons. Collins, he's a big lad, but it was also Evans involved for the Dogs. Hurried kick out of the pack will go inside forward 50. They need to be careful here, Sandhurst. Oh, he might have got one too high. I heard you in the background there. Simpson, play was allowed to go on. They're all slipping over, can't get clean possession as they'll dive in after the footy. Umpire will have to adjudicate here 15 metres out from Sandhurst as they attack. 4 behinds, they lead. Gisborne yet to score. 9 minutes gone opening term. Live finals football on Fresh Bendigo.
The umps as well, Aidan Clemens, Jack Anderson, David Carter, the field umpires for this under-18 grand final. Ball spills out toward the boundary line, get tossed back in. I reckon Dayton Urata must have a lucky shirt on or something, Ben, because there's a little flash of yellow at the bottom of his jumper there. I reckon he's running an undershirt and sort of a bright yellow.
Yeah, well, he probably doesn't have a long sleeve, and we used to say just wear something that's dark, and you can wear whatever you like underneath your jumper.
Old toss back in. Evans again just takes front spot. Chance for Freak inside defensive 50 for the Dogs. Handballs to Mids, just tries to thump it outside the danger area. Barricade went through the pack, couldn't take it with him. Dragons will get a kick back inside the 50. DeMailey goes up. Clough bumped him out of the way. Steaming through off the back of the 50 there was Jackson Kerr. Just whacks it into the middle of the QEO. Ryan chases after it, gets a boot to it for the Dogs. Just tries to gain some territory desperately. Morris goes to ground. Seb Morris sliding over the boundary line finds touch. And it'll be thrown in. Really the first time it's been forward of the wing for Gisborne in the ball game. We're 10 minutes through the opening term. Sandhurst by 4 doing all the scoring.
Strong press, Ben, isn't it? They were right up the field on that occasion.
And he really wanted that to go over because he was outnumbered 2-1, Gisborne player.
We're looking towards another stoppage here as a lot of players dive in after the footy after that ball was thrown in, and that is in fact what happens. Halfway between centre and left half forward, Gisborne, they're in attack. They're going to the Barnard Street end. Up they go in the ruck for the Dogs. Evans doing a good job. A hurried kick out of the pack. It'll be Dragons who go forward into the middle. Picked up by Austin, but he lost it. Then at the back of the pack receiving a handball was Ainsworth. That's an awkward looking ball in the direction for the Dogs of Barricade, who goes inside forward 50 for the Dogs. Here's their first real chance. Still 40 out from goal. Umpire blows his whistle as he will ball it up. And under pretty tough conditions here, Dragons 4 behinds. Gisborne yet to score 11 gone, opening term.
There's a forward 50 entry for the Dogs here. Luxmore's in ruck, the leading goal kicker in the competition this season. Lockins chases after it. Seb Morris is over the top of him. Spills out the back, no clear kick. Now Collins for the Dragons. Hacks it forward. Ball slides and tumbles and rolls its way all the way to right half forward. It Urata got over the top there of Connor Bills, who slid in, took the footy cleanly. Tumbling kick down the line, taken by Carr. He's turned it over. Clough comes through for the Dogs. Handball off to Ainsworth. Low left foot kick up the line. Big physical contest on the wing. And it's going to be a free kick going the way of the maroon and blue.
Thought that was a good tackle.
Wilson Robertson. Certainly a fierce tackle.
They've been disciplined on both sides with their tackling.
Especially in these conditions, it can be really tricky. James Gentles gave away the free, so Robertson's going to chip it around the wing. His short kick found Archer Patterson.
He'll go shallow inside forward 50, spills to the back of the pack. Lurking there is Dogs. Also Salvador trying to get involved. Socket off the ground by Gator, who goes to the top of the pack. Picked up there by Austin. Austin around a score. And that was a good, promising build-up, as it's 5 behinds now, Sandhurst. Gisborne yet to score, 12.5 gone, opening term.
Just can't snag that first goal of the game. James kicks in again for the Dogs. Luxmore's up at half-back now, trying to cut the footy off. Ainsworth's there again. He's been busy. Slams it forward. An awkward one here for DeMail, who's out the back, just being that sweeper at the moment. Good pressure from the Dogs. Lockins forces the ball loose, and that's a good win for Gisborne, Ben, on the wing.
Certainly they need it to reset up again because they're getting outnumbered at the moment.
Sandhurst had all the numbers with DeMail playing as that spare behind the footy, and Gisborne's pressure was able to just hold things up right in front of the grandstand here at the QEO. Grey skies, rain falling on grand final day with 13 minutes through the opening term. It's the Dragons by 5 points. No clean handle on the footy there for Darcy Young. We toss back in, this time in front of the Sandhurst bench.
Yeah, it's tough conditions here. I noticed Heartland for the Dragons is sporting a tattoo in the under-18s, Ben, so let's just say he must be just over the age of 18 as they try to burst through the pack here.
Or you know someone who looks like him, who is Johnny.
Yeah, exactly. Dogs getting involved with Gentles. He can't get the footy over the line it goes.
He might have got parental permission at 16 now.
Can you do that?
I think so.
He got really bored and he's just got a biro.
Yeah, it might be one of those school tats as the umpire will now throw it in. Tough conditions for the umpires as well. Went up for the ruck and it spills to the back of the pack, swooping on Dragons. It was Delaney, but he couldn't find a path. Again, another stoppage, and this is going to be the one you'll think, oh, pretty tough decision. Oh. He said, you've dragged it in, son, and I'm going to give a free kick, and it'll go Dogs, and Young is away.
So Darcy Young's played every game for Gisborne this season. Kicks to the edge of the 50. Luxmore got rid of his opponent. Umpire said it was okay. So Luxmore kicks inside the forward 50. It's a good mark taken in defence. Lewis Banfield coming up with a nice diving take. Whacks it straight up the corridor. The Dragons with the aggressive option. Here's Austin. Goes inside the 50. Urata through his head. The back. Heartland's in on goal. Through the first. Finally, they're on the board. All their effort rewarded. And the dominant start shows on the scoreboard. 1-5-11 Sandhurst. Gisborne yet to score. 14 minutes gone. Opening term. Fresh Bendigo Grand Final footy. Live score sponsor Bendigo Bulk Carpets. That's the one they wanted, Bendigo.
Certainly is. I don't know why the Gisborne player kicked it out wide there. He should have gone straight at the goals. And then on the turnover, been running harder at every contest. And on that turnover, they just found the player out the back on his own.
So, good bit of play that was. At the back of the pack, Heartland did well. He read the flight of the footy better than the others. As back into the middle will go. Again, the Dogs, can they get it out of the middle? Umpire let it go. It's an awkward looking kick. It was by Baraki, is it? In fact, Baraki. I got it right the first time. As we're on right half forward now for the Dogs. It's managed to find its way there. No clean position. Inside forward 50s. Being able to pick it up will be Young. Let's see what I can do with it. He lost the ball and it went to the Dragons, and advantage is paid, and it'll come out in the direction of Heartland of the Dragons.
Couldn't take it cleanly. Goes backing and gets a bump there from Oscar Schnorr. A long kick up the line, floats out of bounds on the ball. Not even Dr. Rowan Molinar was marking that one on the boundary line. It'll be taken by Cameron Freak. He's got the Jedi strip out the back of the...
certainly is.
It's an interesting look. Freak kicks up toward half forward. Pack around the footy. And they just crash in. Ravaglia's over the top. Salvador's having a go trying to rip it free for the Dragons. Nothing's coming loose. So a ball up, front point of the square. Gisborne in their attacking half, but they haven't scored yet. Sandhurst by 11.
Doing the ruck work for the Dogs is Barakay again. He's only a small little fella, couldn't quite get his hands on the balls. Min's working hard, bottom of the pack for the Dogs. Another stoppage. We'll have a ball up left
Son
half
of Eddie
forward.
Barakay, Johnny, a two-time Gisborne Premiership player under Mick McGuan.
As they go up in the ruck, he wins the tap on that occasion. So, just as I say it, he wins the footy, but it's all with the Dragons now. It'll be a long ball. Inside forward 50. It came from Austin at the back of the pack, lurking. Day Wicks soccers the ball. Goal. They'll need to kill it and rush it. Dogs do. That's what they need to do for another minor score. 1-6-12 Dragons. Gisborne yet to score. 17 gone first term. Fresh Bendigo grand final footy.
Of course, 20-minute quarters in the first half. We go to 20 plus time on in the second. Kick goes wide. Sandhurst players hail cabs. They wanted it out deliberate. That wasn't going to be the case as James got rid of the football. Tossed back into play. Sandhurst still locked up across half forward. Joel Peterson, John Hunter, multiple time premiership coach in the under-18s. Ben Dyatt with you on Fresh Bendigo live grand final footy. Carr had a play at the football for the Dragons at the top of the 50. It was socked away from him. Flying over the top of the pack was Gentles. He couldn't take it for the Dogs on the wing swimming pool side. Mins crashes through. Come to expect that from anyone with that name. Now just a long kick inside forward 50. Chase after that, boys. They go after it. Sam Wilson leads the race back there for the Dogs. Goes to ground, dragged away from him. Is it going to be a free kick?
I think fair enough.
It's going to be a Gisborne free kick. It was desperate defence. Might have been Banfield back there who was scrapping for the ball at ground level. The surge kick for the Dogs. And Sam Wilson's going to have the first shot for Gisborne.
Yeah, I guess when you're on the ground you can't go grabbing his legs when he's trying to pull away from you.
Good result this will be for the Dogs, won't it? Against that, well, it's a wind really.
Well,
Kicked plenty of goals this year. 9 goals in his last 4 games, Sam Wilson. Played 3 games in the seniors. 24 goals from his 11 games in the under-18s this year. From 35 metres out, he sticks it through for the first for the Dogs. And what Sandhurst couldn't do at one end, the Dogs do, and they take advantage from one of their rare opportunities in this opening term. Gisborne 1 straight, Sandhurst 1-6, 18 minutes played, 19 minutes played in the opening term. Fresh Bendigo Grand Final Footy live score sponsor, Variety Superstore Strathvillage.
yeah, maybe the Gisborne coach will realise, tell his boys at quarter time, move the ball as quick as Sanders have been doing it, catch them one out. Because I don't know how they're going to counter the pace of Sanders once they got control of the ball.
Whitshead moves into the middle to do the ruck work for the Dragons, and he does win it, goes forward. Dogs tried to pick it up by a Fox, but it was a hurried kick by the Dragons inside forward 50. They're building here again over was Morris, couldn't collect. 30 metres out now directly in front. Dogs, well, they're pushing it goalward, and they because they're in a bit of trouble here. Foot to the ball as it went goalward, and it was way off in the end, but another minor score. 1-7-13 Dragons, 1 goal straight. They're 6 behind, 20 minutes gone in this opening term. You reckon the side, but doesn't. I reckon they had some time clock issues at the top of the game there. Ball's kicked in from fullback. It'll go out of bounds on the full,
So
and they'll have a ball in.
Goes out untouched. So 1-7 they go to the Dragons in this opening term.
Gisborne better fill that hole up in there.
Tim Long on the outer side to take the kick for the Dragons. He lives up to his name, sends it to full forward, big pack. Day Wicks went up among them, packed off the ground by James. Carr, a clever tap for the Dragons. Wilson, the goal kicker for the Dogs. Feeds it out wide to Clough, and now from Kerr, he kicks a high footy up the wing. Standing under it is Lewis Banfield to mark and chops it off for the Dragons. Goes short. Austin kicks inside the forward 50. Couple of Dogs fly. Morris win it beautifully. An outstanding goal. The quarter time siren. Wonderful work from Oliver Morris. Textbook front and centre. And a beautiful finish And Sandhurst get their second to end the first. 2-7-19. The Dragons. Gisborne 1 straight 6. Live score sponsor Bendigo Bob Carpets.
Interesting start to this grand final for 2022. It's going to be morning, a soggy afternoon, but the footy's red hot. Sandhurst a quarter time lead, 2-7-9 to Gisborne, 1 goal straight 6 on fresh Bendigo and final footy. This game in soggy conditions, 2-7-19 to Gisborne, 1 goal straight 6 in some pretty tough conditions.
So second term about to get underway. Here's Johnny Hunter on fresh Bendigo grand final footy.
Doing the ruck work for the Dogs again will be Evans. I'll kick to the city end. There's a hurried kick out of the pack by Demal. He goes to 51 metres out for the Dragons as they look to build on that lead. A lot of players again around the footy. It's going to be the afternoon for it, isn't it? As the umpire circles, letting it go a long time. We'll have to blow the whistle. But still, still they're letting it go. All the players, that was interesting, all the players turned around and looked at the umpire and said, are you going to blow it? And they didn't. Hurried kick out of the pack by Fox, goes to the outer side wing. That was quite bizarre, Joel, as the score is 19 playing 6 Sandhurst lead.
Yes, interesting. It happens in these wet weather games, doesn't it? You see that quite a bit. Early stages for the Dogs, thought Darcy Lockins was good. Cameron Freak, I mean, it's been all their defenders. Kerr's had a lot. Simpson's had a lot of the footy. Ainsworth's had a lot of the footy. They were just under so much pressure in that inside their defensive 50, the Dogs, that was where most of the players who had a run at it was, as Brodie Anderson is after it for Gisborne, shovels it out the back, and now tumbling through the pack as he got his kick away there was James Gentles. Ball along the ground on the outer side wing. Has a go for the Dragons. Fighting for it out there is Barraquet. It's flicked over the top to DeMay. Control it, and a free kick's been plucked out by the umpire. It's going the way of the Dragons. So impressed you for the opening term, Ben?
Yeah, I've liked guys have taken the opportunity when they've come. He's got a goal. Hartland as well has got a goal. I like the way Austin has played, and at the start of the quarter when it was all on the line, he's played very well. And Christian Morris.
So the ball's on the outer side. Sandhurst looking to build. It's a ball that goes up the chimney. Didn't go the required distance. On the right half forward now in attack. It's just bobbling around now, no clean possession, really slippery footy. And players allowed to go on and now a hurried kick into the middle. Couldn't quite collect it for the Dragons was Travaglia. Travaglia couldn't get the ball. Another whistle on play now. It will be eventually a free kick, and it will go the way of the Dragons. Will be that now. Travaglia. Yep. Got it out. Now Travaglia. Now he'll go long. Inside forward 50. They'll set themselves. Good, strong, contested mark. It's going to be
Day Wicks.
Day Wicks got his hands on the footy.
That was a great mark in these conditions.
That's outstanding, Benny. I mean, I was just thinking the fact that it's probably not going to be the Stars that necessarily sort of turn it on today because the conditions aren't there for them. You run these kind of really aerial players, but that's such a good mark in this weather.
In tough conditions against the wind, he's directly in front to the Barnard Street end. Man on the mark stands around about 38 metres. Skipping a little bit of a hop. He kicks through the footy, it goes wide. In fact, misses everything, comes off hands, and it will be a ball in. In fact, it hit the point post. So
no, ball in.
Well, the goal
umpire's he's overruled.
The goal umpire signalled to hit the post. Boundary umpire overruled and said no, give it to me. And the central umpire agreed. Has picked up the footy in the goal square. Dave Wicks again tried to have a shot at goal, but just rebounded. Now the Dogs will go to the outer side. Running onto the footy will be Salvador. Collects. Little handball. That's okay. Gives it to Delaney. And now they go inside forward 50 again. And a mark's been taken by Joshua Gillies. Gillies now. He'll go goalward. It's wide again. It'll come off hands. Minor score. Slips through. And it takes the Dragons to 2-8-20. They lead Gisborne 1 goal straight 6. 4 minutes gone, second time.
So Dogs bring it back into play. It was a low kick. Made things really difficult for us. But he earns a free kick with Oliver Morris over the top of him. Inside defensive 50 for the Dogs. Jared Ainsworth played 18 games this season. Gisborne sends it long out toward the ground. DeMail had his legs taken. He'll get a free kick. He's another one who's played senior At Sandhurst, Ben, he played senior footy at Tooley back in round 6 of all. Kicks inside the forward 50. The male. Ball on the deck now for Mins. Able to control it. Exits the defensive 50. Big fly from Long over the top of DeMail, but DeMail on. And it'll be a Gisborne free kick. Right half. Dogs 1 straight. Sandhurst 2-8. Early stages.
So I'll look to bring it down the wing now. Handball receive. It was effective. Poor kick in the end. Goes over the back of the pack. Misses everybody and it slips over the line. And we'll have another ball in. 70 around from Gisborne's goal. 14-point margin. Dragons lead. They've been impressive in these soggy conditions. Umpire will throw it in. Evans will do the ruck work for the Dogs. He needs to slap the post just to put the pressure on. Now that's how good the footy is. The boundary umpire went to throw it in and it just slipped out of his hands like a bit of soap. It's a shallow throw-in, umpire right that says come in. That was always going to happen after that first attempt to slip your footy.
Now it's rolled around the grass, it's even more slippery.
Well, every time it doesn't bounce anymore, it just slips. So rain still continues here at the QEO. Umpire,
he's nearly hit himself in the head.
He is. Now, let's have a third go at it. You feel sorry, he's probably under a bit of pressure. All eyes are on the umpire.
But Central's got good control though, hasn't he?
He has.
He's dropped it again.
The umpire drops it again. So, yeah, you've got to have a little bit of empathy for him. Oh, it's a good throw on this occasion. The crowd cheers as we're 70 out from goal. A bit of byplay going on. Dragons picked up Austin. He didn't have any trouble. He gives it by hand to a teammate, Salvador, and he kicks it up to the wing.
So a long footy. Oliver Morris is there for the Dragons. Poke it, sliding in. Mins, he's just going to go. It'll go the way. So Kane Mins, low kick to the edge of the 50. Ooh, Lockens did well, kept it in front of him. Maglia puts his head over the footy. Lockens back in, scoops it up. Eventually, for the Dragons to slams it on the left boot. Oh, Mins one sliding it on his neck. Flicked the handball up to front, way around the body there. Simpson, his kick around stand side wing. He's walked over the boundary. Alex Carr for Sandhurst. It'll be top in front of the grandstand. It'll be packed this afternoon with the blue and white of Strathfield, white and blue of Gisborne for the senior grand final. It's played second term. Sandhurst 20, Gisborne 1 straight 6. Fresh Bendigo final footy.
Ball thrown in, socket off the ground, sent by Carr, couldn't get purchase on it. Still going through the pack there. Tried to make a path and couldn't for the Dogs. Eventually, ball up. Through centre wing broadcast side.
Gisborne trying to play draw. It's too wet for that.
Evans doing the ruck work for the Dogs. Ball's hard against the line. 20 playing 6, Sandhurst lead, 7.5 gone second term. Fresh Bendigo, grand final footy.
The Andrew umpire's got good control over. Tosses it back into play. Dusty play at it for the Dogs. Now just hacks it forward to the end. It'll float over the head of Dignan. All waiting out the back. Almost Wilson. He gather it, Ben, inside the 50.
Just they're outnumbered again down there. Now they've got to set up.
He was the goal kicker in the opening term for Gisborne, Sam Wilson. He punctuated the goals to Horace for the Dragons. And no further marks recorded in the opening term. Out of the stoppage, Whitshead. Throw. Freak has a go. At half forward. Can't catch. Wicks is a long way up the to Patterson. He was boundary line for the Dragons. And so it'll be tossed back in right half. Dogs trail by 14, 8.5 second quarter.
Got a handle on this game here. Dragons.
Yep.
Handling the conditions much better than the Dogs as the ball goes to the back of the pad.
Sandhurst scored 104 points on average. And I've got a feeling they may not get anywhere today.
Evans doing the ruck work again for the Dogs and slides in on the hands and knees. Clapham gives it by hand to Kerr. Kerr of the Dogs goes goal with defensive touch by Sandhurst. Dignan did well. Pops it through from the score. 20, the Dragons. Gisborne, 9.5 gone, second term, fresh Bendigo grand final footy.
Oh, the
First kick in for the Dragons. This one, it's a good mark. Sliding in at right to intercept.
freakish mark, was it?
Freak family, of course, his brother John, player in 2018 for the Gisborne side. Run past here, almost a chance. Great Lockins, terrific from Seb Morris. The coach is scared. The dog, Zach Patterson, throws it on the end of the boot and kicks top of the goal square. A defensive break for the Dragons, and the dog grab another and pull back 7 points. 2-1 Sandhurst 2-8-20 halfway through the second term. Score sponsor Bendigo Bowl.
Most of the opportunity when it presents. Inside out kick off the boot.
And smart play by Patterson to be in that spot. Yep. He read it like a rover.
Yep.
That's the spot to be wet or dry, and he was. And put it on the outside of the boot cleverly. As back into the middle we go as the Dragons in the ruck again. Evans with a soccer ball by the Dragons by Morris. He sends it to the outer side, swinging to the side. Oh, a bit overzealous Gisborne there with a tackle with Snore. It's probably unnecessary as the Dragons will get a free kick. As the ball goes to right half forward now for the Dragons. Out of side, look to attack, but hands and knees again as Austin. Hurry ball inside forward 50, goes to the top of the square, goes to the hot spot. Target there was Hartman. He's in the area. Also the big man in Carr, they screen for it, and incorrect disposal of the Dogs are rebound off half back.
So a long kick out wide, bounces in front of Lockins, collects on the grandstand side wing, got bumped after he kicked it, but it tumbles to the edge of the 50. Wilson's up, 2-on-1, favours Sandhurst. Jumping it over the top was Banfield, but the kick comes clear from Clough to Luxmore in the pocket, just couldn't keep it in. The bouncing ball slipped out.
He's grasped in the right forward pocket. It'll be tossed back in 20 around from goal.
He's a bit worried about where the defender was instead of just grabbing the ball.
So 2-1 the Dogs, 2-8 Sandhurst, 11.5 gone in the second term. Ball will be tossed back into play. Luxmore and Whitsett in ruck. Luxmore takes front spot, throws it on the boot, doesn't go very far. Mark claimed by Dignan, wasn't 15. He stepped across the boundary line. Be thrown back into play again, deep forward for the Dogs.
7-point margin, Dragons lead. Handy to get one on the board here for the Dogs because they have got the scoring end. The umpire throws it in. Up they go in the ruck. Luxmore doing it for the Dogs again as the Dragons look to kill it. Stepping over the boundary line, Alex Carr disguised it well. 20 metre, well in fact 10 metres around from the Gisborne goal. We'll have another ball in. 20 playing 13. Tough conditions here. Curio, 2022 grand final. Another congested bit of play. Ground level, they're diving in after it. Umpires still letting it go. They're doing a pretty good job here, the umpires, because they've got it pretty tough as well. They've put the whistle away from the moment. A rolling pack towards the boundary line. 5 metres out from Gisborne's goal. Forward pocket, another ball in. Sandhurst 20, Gisborne 13. Fresh Bendigo grand final.
It's like an Ainsworth game for Gisborne.
He's been pretty tough, hasn't he?
He's in there.
Uncompromising. Luxmore slaps it out in ruck. He's going to get another chance here. Harry Luxmore, smothered by Carr, who stood in the way, slapped it toward the boundary line. That's as close as you'll get to deliberate. No.
He was thinking about it.
They all looked, didn't they? No question that he only wanted the boundary line then, Alex Carr. And the umpire's given him a reprieve. It would have been a brave decision, maybe a correct one, as Luxmore taps it out. Travaglia was on the end of it for the Dragons, sharked the hit out. Carr only wanted the boundary line again. That time he disguised it a little bit better. And it'll be thrown back in. Locked inside forward 50 for Gisborne. Dominated the opening stage of Sandhurst. Now it's the Dogs' turn with territory. They trail by 7, 13 to go on second term.
Luxmore, big punch for the Dogs toward goal, but it comes off hands again.
Needs to bring this boundary in a fair way, I think.
And we're stuck in the forward pocket here.
Yep. Good bit of umpiring there, Ben, from you and from the umpire.
Luxmore, he's looking dangerous, as you said, Ben. He's doing the ruck work now. He didn't win it on that occasion. Spills to the pack of the top of the pack. As the ball, well, it finds its way beyond 50, picking it up now with Clough, a little handball over the top, offering support was Fox. It's a bit of an ordinary kick in the direction of Young. But Dragons under pressure here. Soccer ball falls in the direction of Menz of the Dogs. He had nowhere to go. It spills free. Good tackling, Salvador Dragons. 49 out from goal. Big, tough bit of play there. It was good work.
Scorers have all opened up for Jared Ainsworth. 6-point margin, Gisborne 2-2, Sandhurst 2-8, 15 minutes gone. Second quarter, live score sponsor, Bendigo Bulk Carpets on Fresh Bendigo Grand Final footy.
Dignan for the Dragons will play on quickly. He sends it beyond 50 out of side. Kick punch from behind. Dragons defensively did well. In fact, a hurried kick comes out of the pack and it goes out of bounds on the full. And the Dogs are going to get a free kick. It'll be Freak with the footy. He's across half forward, left half forward. Freak now goes inboard. He just put it to... standing literally by himself was Luxmore, hit him right on the chest, and he said, thank you very much, and he'll line him up for goal.
Whether he meant that or not, but there was a swarm of Sandhurst players there, but you just picked Luxmore out.
I suspect he didn't, Ben. It was a hurried kick inside forward 50, and Lux of Fortune, well, you've got a bit nowhere to stand anyway, and Luxmore was in the right position.
Well, I suppose if you've kicked 68 goals for the year, you must know what to do.
He's within distance, you would say. It works wide. In fact, it misses by a long way in the end, and a minor score for Gisborne. Opportunity gone miss there, 2-3-15, 2-8-20 Dragons. 16 minutes gone second term on Fresh Bendigo Grand Final footy.
We've got to turn this point into 7.
1 goal, 3 for the Dogs so far in this term to just the one behind for the Dragons. As long kick out of defensive 50, big pack around the footy. Ainsworth surrounded as he has been so far, not coming out. So every time they've played this season, Gisborne has led in the early stages of games. Even in the semi-final, they led 3-1 to 1 goal at quarter time. They were outscored 1-3 to 7-4 thereafter. So they've had their chances against the Dragons this year, the Dogs, despite losing all of those 3 encounters. Back inside forward 50 for Gisborne in front of the scoreboard. Foxy's pushed over the boundary line. It'll be tossed back in. Round 1, they led by 13 at half-time. And then they led at quarter time in round 10 as well, the Dogs. They're really pushing to try and get ahead here at half time. They trail by 5, but they're dominating the territory late in this term.
Umpire will throw it in fact, as it goes to the front of the pack. Still a lot of players around the ball. It's just bobbling around. Eventually end up with Morris of the Dragons. He tried to kick it, but it was ineffective. Now emerging, picked up quickly by Luxmore. He was in the right position again. And, it went wide in the end. Goes through for another minor score. So 2-4-16 Dogs. Dragons 2-8-20. 17.5 gone second term.
Might get another chance here. Good mark from Kerr.
This is a very, very important kick.
His dad will be happy with that, Ben. You know why? Because his dad's the coach. Kerr kicks it to centre half forward. Luxmore in the pack. Couldn't take the mark. Dignan's there for the Dragons. Handball's off quickly. It's banged outside the defensive 50 by Xavier Austin, but it's coming back in. Mark taken in the centre of the ground by Simpson. In fact, Simpson's got the footy now, so he can't have taken the mark, Benny. Handballs it back to Bills. Low kick up toward half forward. Just got it to Phoenix James, who stubbed his toe a couple of times in the opening term. Rolls onto his left boot here, sends it toward Luxmore, where the numbers out the back. Gisborne have the crummers. Lockins, handball quickly, taken by Oliver Morris. He dives on top of it, doesn't want to let it free. Pack rolls on, 30 out from the Gisborne goal. Eventually the umpire crosses the arms, says, give it to me. Gisborne camped inside forward 50, trailing by 4 and piling on the pressure.
In the ruck work was Luxmore again. He's the danger man, so get it into his hands. They need to hit the scoreboard here, Gisborne, because they're wasting opportunities with that wind. As the ball has moved to half forward now. Clean possession by Kerr, but then he dropped it just as about in the middle of the release. And again, the umpire has to ball it up.
Sanders have got numbers at every contest to make sure it can't get a clean kick out.
Holding on to a slender lead now. 4 points it is for the Dragons. It's a kick that goes inside forward 50 again for the Dogs. It was a hurried kick and it went wide. Bounces 20 metres out from goal and we'll have another ball in. 4 point margin.
A minute to go. They've got to make sure they can get a goal here, Gisborne.
Dragons lead.
They would love one before half time. Luxmore in ruck again. After not going near it in the opening term, he's had plenty to do here in the second. Ball on the deck, chasing after it. Again, is Clough. He's been good so far. Kerr hacks it toward goal. Luxmore, in fact, it's Wilson, almost controlled it down to himself there. But Travaglia got a fist in to thump it through for another rush behind. So 3 points the margin now. Gisborne closing it in minor scores. 19.5 minutes played second term. Live score sponsor Breach Apparel Bendigo.
Dignan will bring it in for the Dragons. He's looking swimming pool side, which he has all morning, then decides to come commentary side, which is the grandstand side. Comes to the back of the pack. I'm not sure if there's a finger on it. It must have been just at the last moment. And it will be a ball in. 70 metres around from the Dogs' goal as the siren sounds for half-time here at the Curio. Under these gloomy, dark conditions, it's still raining, but the footy is very, very good. The Dragons are 2-8-20. They lead Gisborne 2-5-17. A 3 point margin, and they probably missed opportunities there they should have taken, Ben.
Oh, for sure. Same as Sandhurst in the first quarter as well, which sets up, as we call it, the premiership.
Skies. It is soggy conditions. Half-time here, just about to get the second half underway in the 2020 Grand Final. Sandhurst 2-8-20, lead Gisborne 2-5-17. And to bring you the start of the second half, here's Joel Peterson.
So the ruck's bouncing around in the middle of the ground. It's Barraquet who's gone in there, so maybe a little bit of a change for Rob Kerr and the Gisborne side. Seb Collins starting in ruck for the middle. Would you try and get someone like Urata up on the ball, Ben? Just that sort of dynamic presence if you're a Sandhurst coach. And, I mean, he hasn't had the opportunities inside the forward 50. He's such a live wire when he's got a chance.
Well, he's mobile. I think I'd clear the place out for him and let him one-on-one.
Bit of isolation footy.
Yep, why not?
For Dayton Urata.
He only needs 1 or 2 chances and he'll make them pay.
Yeah, absolutely he will. So, umpire holds the ball aloft to get us started here in this second half of the Under-18 Grand Final, and Barraquet just bashes it forward for the Dogs and tries to get things moving Clark Keating style. Sliding in there is Kerr. Freak got a hand to it, tried to force it forward for Gisborne. Just forward of centre for the Dogs. Again, they all just pile in on top of the football. Collins is there for the Dragons. Barraquet tries to clear a path with a kick. Salvador's there for Sandhurst.
Out in the full.
And then a wild kick off the boot of Dignan goes out of bounds on the full. In front of the interchange stewards, it'll be brought back into play for the Dogs. You're going to have to retrieve the footy almost from up in the grandstand.
Yeah.
Eventually they do, and it's our man Ainsworth who's got it.
Got to be long.
Ainsworth. Bit of a crowd building in the Barnard Street end as well. Oh, it's a 30-metre ball. He's coughed it up. He's kicked it straight to Alex Carr of the Dragons, who's on right half-back. Looking to bring it down the grandstand side. That's a decent tight kick with a wet, soggy ball. Big punch from behind. Did well with Simpson. Sharked by the Dragons. Day Wicks goes inside forward 50. Bouncing ball. It's a foot race. Who'll get there first? It will be the Dogs in Bills. They kill it. Good defensive work. That was always what he needed to do. So it is now the Dragons 21. They lead Gisborne 17. A minute and a half gone, third term.
It's whacked back in by James for the Dogs. Carr comes over the top with a fist. Archer Patterson's there for the Dragons. Almost rolled his ankle as he got stuck in the sodden turf. And it'll be tossed back into play right half forward for Sandhurst. Fresh Bendigo Grand Final footy, multiple-time premiership coach in the Under-18s, Ben Dyatt with you.
I wouldn't be kicking it out wide here. Gives Sanders a chance to set up.
Ball spun back into play. Collins up against Barraquet. Collins decisively down. Hacked off the ground there by Thane Bake for the Dragons. Taken by Urata. Throws it on the left. Blasts it out of bounds on the full. It was an awkward delivery, but he is such a live wire when he can get his hands on it. So 4 point lead to the Dragons. 2 minutes gone, third term.
That's why you'd isolate him down there. Let him be there on his own.
Had a bit of Joel Wharton look about it, didn't it? The long sleeves and the number 2.
Yes. And
Kane,
the left foot.
Kane Mins, in the back pocket. He kicks it. Oh, got his hand in there nicely. It was Alex Carr.
Should have taken it, though.
He should have. Handball receive was Lockens, and then he gets tackled.
Free kick.
Did he drop his knees, maybe, in another world? as plays on quickly. We all know who I'm talking about. Good, strong, contested mark.
Well, that could be 50.
It is. That was unnecessary. As taking the mark was Salvador, and it was Gentles. It was probably wasn't so gentle, unnecessary.
Oh, careful not
Just
to
calm.
reverse it.
Reverse.
Don't reverse it.
Just calm down, take a deep breath, lads. As Luke Salvador for the Dragons walks goalward, and wasn't that a strong mark?
Beautiful mark, but I'll tell you what, boys, this could actually be the sealer.
That wins grand finals, doesn't it? That type of behaviour. When you're playing grand final footy, you like to see it. Luke Salvador kicks through the ball and pops it on the board. Live score sponsor, Rural and Outdoors in Castlemaine. Sandhurst go to 3-9-27. They lead Gisborne 2-5-17. And we've gone 4 minutes in this third term.
That was great pressure by Sanders to finally get Gisborne to make a mistake and be ready to capitalise on any mistake and take a great mark like that in these conditions.
So
Don't
the
know how
ball...
the Gisborne boys feeling though.
No, coach wouldn't be happy. You would not imagine, would you? As it comes back into the middle now. Salvador, he's in the middle again, so he's gone to put the pressure on. Getting involved, trying to get his hands on the footy. Just moves forward of centre now for the Dogs. Can they win it? They can't. Salvador again gets his boot to the ball for the Dragons, sends it to the left half forward. Dave Wicks is involved. Gives it across to a teammate who'll kick it long inside forward 50. Danger signs here. Back of the pack. Ureta couldn't get to the footy.
He was on too.
Slides through. In fact, it was a minor score or a free kick?
Free kick.
Free kick. It'll go to Bills of Gisborne for the Dogs. Hard up against the point post. Bills plays on now. You send it long beyond 50.
out in the full.
Wind just caught it at the last moment and puts it out of bounds on the full. So it'll be free kick for the Dragons to bring it the other way. So they're doing all the attacking here again, Ben.
Yeah, and they, Gisborne just can't get out. This is great pressure by Sandhurst.
So it's
Ooh,
a
gone to
long,
torp.
it's a torp. He's got on, he's nailed it. He hit the body of the ball. Back of the pack again. Ureta couldn't quite find it.
I don't
And
think
it
you
slips
knew it was coming.
through for a
It was
minor.
big torp.
Just hit it beautifully, didn't he? Didn't kick it too hard. As the ball comes out, kick in now for the Dogs. Just shuffling
they
towards the man
delivered.
line to Kerr. Was it a free kick?
No.
No. Geez, the umpire. I thought he might have given it away again.
That one was a bit obvious, that one.
They're umpiring well here, the umpires, in this conditions. If it continues on the reserves and seniors of the umpires,
Yep.
we'll be pretty happy, Ben, I think. As the ball is thrown in, we're 70 out now from goal for the Dragons. Just fell into his hands. Kerr of the Dogs puts it to the wing, but it's going to come rebound the other way. Long kick, 70 metres out from the Dragons' goal. Trying to find a path there was Gentles, who gave away it was a pretty obvious free kick, a 50-metre penalty. Slinging tackle, need to be careful here. Umpire didn't see it that way. Blows his whistle, and 2 kicks out from the Sandhurst goal. We'll have a ball up.
There's 2 guns, Ureta and Ainsworth, both going at it.
Umpire throws it up.
Oh,
Contested footy again. Umpire let it go. We're all bound up. Another ball up, 70 out from Dragons' goal again. And we'll have it in the arms of the umpire. 28 playing 17. Uncontested here. Dogs put it boundary side. And it was a good tap by Barricade. And we'll do it all again. So a little bit of lull in play, Ben.
this is the pressure that Sanders to bring. No, they've Gisborne make one mistake, they'll capitalise on it.
Umpire throws it in. Spills to the front of the pack. Swooping on the footy was Bills of the Dogs, but it slipped out of his hands at the last moment. And again, across left half forward for the Dragons. We'll have a baller.
The other
Ball
thing
in.
this is taxing on the Gisborne bodies. They've had a hard finals campaign.
They have. Tough conditions. Ball to the front of the pack. Collected by Freak. Then he lost the footy. Running onto it, Dragons.
Dropped it.
DeMale. He dropped it just at the last moment.
But
Over the boundary line and another ball in. So we're camped 70 metres out from goal. Right half forward. Right in front of us in the commentary box. Boundary umpire throws it in. Up they go in the front of the pack, trying to find a path. Couldn't. Handball, Goalwood freak. Geez, he tried to put it out, I think. Couldn't find the boundary line. Gentles probably saved him from a deliberate out of bounds as he collected it and then stepped over the line.
Urata's thrown himself around in this quarter. He's making his presence felt.
Still across half forward. Dragons attack. They lead 28-17. Long throw in. Front of the pack, hurry kick out of the pack there by the Dragons was Austin. But they might get a free kick here, the Dogs, and it'll go to Mins. Didn't see what it was for, Ben.
Pushing him back and held him when he didn't have the ball.
Mins, well, held up in the breeze. He was looking for Luxmore, couldn't find him, went through his hands. Front of the pack now, Dogs. Fox lost the footy, did well. Travaglia for the Dragons. Luxmore getting involved, dived in after the footy. And again, another stoppage.
So they've got to realise quick kick out of these pack situations can open the play up.
Stoppage count is right up there now in this premiership term, the third term. Kicked off the ground by the Dogs by Bills. Dragons trying to make a path was Sebastian Morris. Umpire let it go. Bottom of the pack was Zach Patterson. And again, geez, that P's getting a workout by the central umpire. Doing a good job as he throws the ball up. Punched to the back of the pack by Evans. Tried to find Gentles. Couldn't find him. And again, geez, good strong tackling by Jackson Kerr as well. Getting involved was Seb Morris as well for the Dragons. Centre wing. Up they go in the ruck again. Can we clear it? Awkward looking handball by Robinson of the Dragons. It was a throw in the end. You can't do that. You can't put it over your shoulder and tap it like it was almost a tennis serve. It's Clough now for the Dogs. He'll go inside forward 50. Good punch from behind. Trying to make a path. Doing well there was Schnorr. He's got a teammate who ran onto the footy. Probably lost his footing at front of the pack now. Picked up by Luxmore. He goes goalward. Put it around the body and he's banged it through. Wow. Good hard work. Gisborne. They tighten up the margin. Live score sponsor, Meat Matters. Gisborne, the Dogs, go to 3-5-23. They trail 3-10-28. A little bit against the flow. 10 minutes gone, third term, but good result.
And I thought it was a really good kick by Schnorr in there, the quick kick into open territory. And Luxmore, well, when you've kicked 60-odd goals, you know how to get them when you're one-on-one.
So we go back into the middle of the QEO. 10 minutes gone. There's time on in this quarter, in the half in fact, so 5-point margin. Dragons hang on. Bursting through the pack will be Clough for the Dogs. He puts it inside forward 50. They'll set themselves. Got a hand on the footy was Dignan for the Dragons. He did well. Socket off the ground, off half back in the direction of Salvador. Can he collect? It's a one-on-one contest. He's in that contest with Jones as the ball goes towards the boundary line. They should kill it here as hands and knees. They do eventually. It was Mins who just sneakily put it over the boundary line, and we'll do it all again.
I'm liking the way the umpire's making them work hard for the ball.
They are, and they're consistent. They've been doing it all morning. Up in the ruck for the Dragons will be Whitshead. Dogs trying to make a path was Mins. He's getting his hands on the footy now, Mins. You'd think that name will be prominent later this afternoon as Mins again a handball to Evans. He did a bit of a fresh airy as a rolling pack forms right half forward for the Dogs to the Barnard Street end.
Get a quick kick out of there.
They all look towards the umpire. I don't like it when they stand and look at the umpire. No. They just should play to the whistle, shouldn't they?
That's right.
5-point margin. Dragons lead. Whistle. They all heard the whistle on that occasion. It'll be a Dogs free kick. And they'll go goalward.
He's got to go long. He's got to go long. Put them under pressure.
With Clough. Clough now. He goes long, inside, forward 50, deep into the pocket. Hurry kick out of the pack will be Morris. Morris of the Dragons. It goes beyond 50, but it's going to rebound the other way.
Is this Kerr?
And it was Jackson Kerr. Hit him on the chest, and he'll line them up to the Barnard Street end.
So Joel said, Dad's the coach, so he better kick this.
Jackson.
This is going to be an important kick.
Jackson Kerr. In the context of the game, it is, isn't it?
Oh. Was he about 45? Kicking 45?
Barnard Street end. It's been tough at that end. He's got a hold of it. It's going to go right to the line. It won't quite make it. It'll come off hands. And it's a goal just out of nothing. Right up against the goal line. They're all screaming for a touch ball. Well, the umpires are conversing. I don't know if the umpires know whether it's a goal or not.
I think it's James Fox has kicked it. He's claiming it, but he's doing the lynch for Richmond. You've got to make sure you show that you've kicked it.
Well, there's a young Dragons player in Travaglia.
Yeah.
He needs not to be involved with that conversation. He needs to get out of there. I reckon they're going to call a point here, Ben.
Yeah.
As there's 4 umpires, yeah, it's a behind. Wow. Jeez.
Ooh.
Well, we haven't got the
conversation.
We haven't got the privilege of an arc, have we? So it would be very interesting to see what would have occurred there. As the ball's kicked in quickly now for the Dragons, it will be a free kick. Things are going their way a little bit, the Dragons, except for well, they are leading, but they need to hit the scoreboard. Bit of a raffle there on left half back. Right half back if you're kicking goalward, in fact. Short pass. Received, Day Wicks.
This could be dangerous, a short passing.
Defensive side of centre wing. They've slowed up the footy. Day Wicks now. Left footer. He'll go to half forward. Oh, it hit Lockens on the chest for the Dogs, and he just dropped a ball he otherwise would have taken in dry conditions as the ball, well, a trip might be paid, and this time it'll go to the Dogs.
Kerr again.
Jackson Kerr. Oh, give it off. Wet ball to Freak.
Get rid of the handball.
They just need to be careful. Hurry kick by James to the wing. Good strong tackling on Fox. Ball's tied up again. Centre wing, ball up.
These conditions, they've done 2 short handballs and got nowhere, and now they're under real pressure.
Dragons by 4 points in this game. What a grand final we've got here. We always see it in the under-18s. Tried to make a path, was Young. Ball spilled in the direction of Clough. He can't quite collect. Now the Dragons receive off half-back was Whitshead. Crowd screaming for free kicks. And they're getting involved, and they'll get one here. It'll go to the Dogs. Might go to Jackson Kerr again. No, in fact, yes, it will.
It's Kerr.
It's Kerr.
Yeah. He's got to kick this long.
He's 70 out from goal. He does do that. It goes long and it goes high, front of the square. A lot of players around the ball. Dragons hurry kick out of the pack by Dignan. It spills, slews towards the boundary line. 15 metres around from goal. Not even 15, Ben, and we'll have another ball in. So, pressure's building.
Certainly is. Both sides realise there's a real contest on now.
Dogs trail by 4 points. Big grand final on our hands here in the under-18s. Start to a big day. Soggy conditions. Don't let that get you down because the footy's hot. Trying to grab the footy out of the pack was Freak. Another hurried kick. 15 metres out, directly in front. On the end of one was Fox. He couldn't get away. Offering support, running shotgun was Minns. Minns will go round the body. It goes 60 up into the goal square. Dragons need to be careful. They kill it. Step over the line. Minor score. 25 playing 28. 3-point margin. Sandhurst lead. 16 minutes gone, third term.
Gisborne got a new lease of life at the moment.
Receiving Dragons. Farrelly. And it goes to the outer side wing. He kicked it. Short pass now. Poor kick. Contested footy. Outer side wing. Dogs through Jones. Can't find a path. Ball is in dispute. Whistle on play. Might be a free kick, Dogs. It is. They'll have another opportunity.
Is it Andrews?
Brody Andrews. He'll go just shallow inside forward 50. He's coughed it up. Tough conditions though. It's still raining here at the QEO. Short pass to the outer side of the ground. It's a 3-point margin. 16 and a half minutes in this third term. Ball goes to, it'll go halfway between the centre and half forward now. Sandhurst attack. Soccer off the ground out of the pack. Kicking in danger. I don't know if it was there, Ben. What did you see?
Well, I don't know why that's kicking in danger. You've got to have a hand on the ball.
I reckon it was the non-officiating umpire that might have called that. So, Dogs through Jones. That's an awkward-looking ball to Luxmore. Offering support was Ainsworth. Now it's halfway between the centre and right half forward for the Dragons. Picked up there by Ureta. Handball to a teammate. That was nice to Delaney. Goes goalward. Bouncing footy. It slid, but it slid to the left and goes through for a minor score. Dragons 3, 11-29 lead Gisborne 3-7-25. So Dogs,
Don't go short.
short pass. Mins receives. Asked to play on, not sure why. Steps around a player too easily, then goes beyond 50. The back of the pack through the Dogs did nicely. That was Clough, put it on the left in the direction of Gentles. He's dived upon, and we'll have another ball up.
One thing I think you'd notice, Ben, in these conditions, and you would know, players get very tired towards the end of each quarter, and their skill level will drop off.
Oh, skill level's dropping for sure. And as we said, we've got time on, so there's going to be another 5
They get
6 minutes.
fatigued.
A lot of players again around the footy.
Sandhurst
Comes
have
out of the pack.
recognised that too. They've made multiple changes off the bench. I think they just made a 4-man swap then.
Yeah, stoppages take up a lot of energy, John,
They do indeed.
and there's
As
a lot of stoppages.
umpires doing a really good job. Big crowd here. They're getting involved. A lot of pressure on them as well. Evans, he got his hands on the ball. Then it spills in the direction of Clough. He couldn't pick up the footy. Ball's tapped goalward. Might have got a shove there as Austin.
Yeah, that one.
And it's a
Freak.
free kick to the Dogs. It'll be
Free
Freak.
kick to Freak. He did earn that.
Freak now.
He's got to go long. Don't go short.
Cross half back. You can sense a frustrated coach in the commentary box here. Luxmore hit him on the chest and he managed to handle it out in the direction. Well, it went to Damal. Then a hurried kick out of the pack by the Dogs to Young. And across the boundary line it goes, across half forward for Gisborne.
Not a
We'll
bad
have ball
result
up.
because it gives Gisborne a chance to now set up. They've got to get a goal out of this.
They do. Big crowd. Barnard Street end. It's only early in the, well, day, morning and afternoon of 2022 Bendigo Football Netball League Grand Final. Socket off the ground. Dogs did well defensively. And it'll be a ball in. It was James Fox who's had some important possessions. 4-point margin. 19 minutes gone third term.
Sanders just bringing Carr on to strengthen up that back line with his height.
It's been good, especially good early.
Yeah.
So, ball's on the deck. They fight for it. Going hard at the footy there is Kerr. He's been important for the Dogs so far in this game. As the former under-18 coach, Paul Nichols, wanders past and watching the Giz Dogs do their thing this afternoon. And now they forced it forward here, the Dragons. Nervous moments. Ainsworth providing a little bit of support here to Lockens, who had another fumble. Has to go back and get it. Was clean. High kick up the wing. Mark Clutch to the chest. Good take in the end from James Fox. So Fox has got it centre wing broadcast side and kicks it out of bounds on the full.
Got to be beat by in these conditions. They go around the boundary line.
Slid it alongside, off the side of the boot. 4 points the spread. This is turning into a classic in the under-18 grand final. 3-11 plays 3-7. The Dragons by 4.
As the ball comes to half forward, jumped high, jumped early, tried to get a fist on it, was Day Wicks. Men's getting involved. He's had a good third term here for the Dogs. Had some important possessions. It's hard up against the boundary line.
Win in the books already for Gisborne, Johnny. They won the 17 and under netball, 44-33 over Kangaroo Flat. Emily McDonald best on court. Gisborne undefeated throughout the season. They go 20 and zip to win the premiership.
Good effort by by the Dogs as the ball is kicked to the wing broadcast side. Fist running onto the footy was Jackson Kerr, and it was one of those ones he grabbed it on the boundary line and put it out of bounds on the full.
And I don't think you can kick left foot.
So it's with Travaglia. Travaglia will go to 50. Goes through the hands of the Dogs through Lockens. Spills inside 50. They need to get one on the board here, the Dragons. Overrunning the footy. Couldn't collect. Was Day Wicks again. 35 metres out, directly in front. Sandhurst attack, whistle on play. 1 for 2 high. It's going to go the Dogs' way, I reckon.
Yeah.
I think they wanted 50 as well, perhaps.
Yep.
So Lockens has been thrown into defence. Oh, and he's turned it over. He's kicked it straight to Tim Long, who's in on goal. Eyes the sticks, drills it. Tim Long with the steal and the score. And Sandhurst manufacture one out of nothing. 10-point lead to the Dragons.
Gisborne 3-7-25. Sandhurst 4-11-35. 22 and a half minutes gone in the third term. Fresh Bendigo Grand Final footy. Live score sponsor Bendigo Bulk Carpets.
Another heartbreaker for Gisborne because that's probably going to be nearly on the siren time as well, like the first quarter.
So back in the middle it will go.
That's a good point, Ben, because these time on, you'd think they won't be long quarters because there hasn't been much scoring.
No, been a lot of stoppages, so hasn't there?
So Gisborne will go forward now again. It was through Freak. He kicks it to half forward. They'll rebound here again, the Dragons, to bring it back the other way through Morris. And he spots up Patterson. He looked a bit lame there, or he just got one in the car. Oh, geez.
He's really cramping.
He looks to give it off by hand. Travaglia again. Just playing for a free kick. Hands and knees. Clough did well. He tried to get rid of it. Travaglia. Slinging tackle. I didn't quite like it. And on left half forward, we'll have another ball up.
Especially with his hand around his neck.
Not necessarily what he needed. So up we go. Evans to go up in ruck against Collins. Those two been duelling in the centre of the ground for most of the day. Freak tries to emerge with it, but coming away with it was Gillies for the Dragons. Kick up the wing. Carr ran past it. Lockens tries to scoot along the boundary line, and then he bumps into Collins and puts him on the deck. And it'll be tossed back into play. In front of the grandstand here at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. Grand final day of season 2022. Sandhurst 4-11, Gisborne 3-7. It's a 10-point spread, 24 gone in the third.
Dogs, Freak, couldn't quite collect. Tried to grab it with one hand like a dry ball. Wasn't effective. Now to be the Dragons. Smothered kick. The kick was by Austin. Siren for the three-quarter time break. Well, sets up a big final term here at the QEO. Sandhurst 4-11-35. They lead Gisborne 3-7-25. It is a 10-point margin. Don't go anywhere. Another big finish for the under-18s on Fresh Bendigo Grand Final footy.
Complete an undefeated season, the Gisborne 17 and under netball side. They're hoping that they can win the junior football, the junior category of football as well here in this final term. They'll have to overturn a 10-point deficit to do so. Ben Dyer, you've won 5 of these under-18 premierships. You've finished in a draw in another. How do you think this last quarter pans out? Are you sticking with Sandhurst, or do you think the Dogs can run over the top of them?
No, I think the Dogs had a chance in that quarter and blew it, so I think Sandhurst have got it now. They're kicking to the... No, they're not kicking to the scoring end now, are they?
They've got a little bit of work to do here, the Dogs. Can they fight their way back into this game? Last quarter underway. Fresh Bendigo Grand Final footy. Here's Johnny Hunter.
Up they go in the ruck, doing it well all morning was Evans. He got his hands on the footy. Offering support was Freak. Now it's a hurried kick to half forward, though. It's a little give by hand to Young. Young gave it to a teammate. Getting involved there was Barricade. Has a whistle on play. A hold. It was a hold, and it'll go to the Dragons. So under pressure there. Lewis Banfield did well.
Just had the arm lock on there, did Sam Wilson.
Did that actually roll through for a goal as well?
I think it might have untouched.
Yeah.
So Banfield wanted to play on and then called to come back behind his mark. So he's going to have to kick it from the defensive goal square. Just shows a little bit of agility. Gee, almost turns it over. Went within a whisker of kicking it down the throat of Lockens. Sandhurst defence stands up for now. Gillies kicked it into the back of an opponent. Ricocheted away toward Gentles at half forward for the Dogs. Daywicks was clean. Handball up. Great tackle. Terrific pressure from Fox. Locks the football up just inside the centre square. Gisborne's attacking half.
So, kicking to the scoring end, which there hasn't been a lot of scoring, let's be honest, but there's been a lot of play in that direction. Can they capitalise? Trying to make a path there was Ainsworth and couldn't. He got all tied up, and we'll have another ball up. Halfway between centre and half forward. Gisborne attack. Sandhurst by 10. It feels like plenty in these conditions. Evans gets his hands on the footy. And another whistle. Free kick from nowhere. Really. Gentles. Handball. A freak. I don't know if it was necessary. They're mucking around a little bit, over-possessing the footy on half forward. They still maintain possession. Receiving a handball was Fox. He goes inside forward 50. They look to build. Can they find Luxmore? He's a little bit quiet in that third term. 30 metres out from goal. Umpire's letting it go. They're still in possession. Good, strong, hard tackling and a free kick will go the way of the Dragons. Travaglia.
So the Gisborne kick into the end, to which 5 goals 15 have been scored so far in this game, with 7 goals 18 in total kicked. So it has been the dominant end with the way the wind is prevailing in this game. Kick out wide goes out of play on the pool side. It'll be tossed back in.
Another short handball game by Gisborne, got them into trouble again.
Fresh Bendigo Live Grand Final footy. The voice of multiple-time Premiership coach Ben Dyatt with you this afternoon here at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. They lie on top of it. Collins is wrapped up. He's not going to pick himself up off the deck, and it'll be tossed aloft once more.
And Santa's got Travaglia sitting there in the hole on his own.
Punch goes in the direction of the Dogs. Barricade, he couldn't quite get it. Sliding after the footy. Lockens getting involved as well. And 40 metres out from goal, deep in the pocket. Well, not quite so deep in the pocket.
That's what I mean by he's had it almost day, Darcy Lockens, Ben. He's had a lot of those opportunities where he's been first to the footy and just hasn't been able to gather cleanly.
Underneath the scoreboard. Umpire
Sorry, mate.
will throw it in. Dragons, Dogs doing the ruck work there was Evans again. Comes to the bottom of the pack. Contested footy, sliding in hands and knees. A lot of players on 50, the paint mark. Good strong tackling, Salvador. He's been pretty good this morning as well for the Dragons. We'll have another ball up. 10-point margin, Dragons lead. 3.5 minutes gone last term.
Kicked 3 goals in their semi-final win, Luke Salvador. He's got 1 in that third term to start them off from a set shot. Ball out wide. Freak got a handball away. Ricochets toward Gentles at half forward. Dogs with numbers around it. Ainsworth pulled off it. DeMail goes through. Jones is there for the Dogs. They all crash in. Clearing hand pass out towards toward Freak. Couldn't take it. And good physical stuff on the outer side. Spencer Jones has another go. Goes to ground. Ball out toward the boundary line. Ollie Morris lies on top of it. He kicked a brilliant goal in that opening term. And it's not coming out. It'll be a ball up outer side. Still 10 points the spread. No score yet in this final term. We've played 4 minutes.
As contested again. Hurried kick out of the pack. Dragons. It'll come into the middle. Dogs look to build. Strong kick to 50. Juggling footy. Good mark it was. Asking for a free kick. It was Young goes long. Why are you kicking to the pocket? I just don't know why he'd kick there. He's lucky not to go out of bounds on the full. And Young, well, would like that kick back again.
Watch too much AFL stuff.
Where are you putting that kick if you're him, Ben? Are you just top of the square?
Top of the square.
As they go up in the ruck. Hurried kick out of the pack. It came from Ainsworth, went goalward, but it was wide, and it was a minor score. 35, playing 26 now. 5 minutes gone. Final term on Fresh Bendigo, grand final footy.
So 9 points the spread. Gee, it's a dangerous kick in. Day Wicks is made to work. Handball back toward the defensive goal square. They might get away with this now, Sandhurst. Austin to Travaglia, got run over in the back. So Toby Travaglia, the under-16 Vic Country representative, tried to go the tube outside the defensive 50, kicked it straight down the throat of Evans. Now Kerr, handball forward, follows up his own work with some good bullocking stuff, tried to push Day Wicks off it. Maybe a high tackle there coming through on Mins. He was thrown to the turf. Gentles goes in for the Dogs at right half forward. They try to force it back inside the arc. Eventually they do. Fox's kick, cut off. Coming the other way is Sebastian Morris, the co-captain for Sandhurst, up the line. Hacking it forward was Salvador. Jones is out the back for Gisborne. Links up by hand with Freak. Tries to slip the tackle. Handball back to Bills. That's a nervous moment. Now to Ainsworth. Needs to be clean, sliding in on the centre square. Urata almost took it away from him for Sandhurst. Dragons with numbers around the footy. Morris goes in again. Long. Toe pokes it forward. Bouncing ball. Gillies and Jones. Jones rushed back. Gillies almost took possession. On the edge of the 50. Run down. Or should have been caught holding the ball. Umpire wave play on. Spills inside forward 50 now for Sandhurst. Ground level ball. Urata spins through. He's taken down. He gets a free.
Sandhurst running much harder to the contest.
Fierce, frenetic passage of play. And Dayton Urata is going to have a set shot. He's 35 metres out, slight angle to the right.
Well, this is a game sealer, this one. He's going to kick it, Joel.
This is a big kick. Our old colleague Jackson Saunders would have been able to tell us the oracle, Luke.
Yeah, he would
Well,
have said
Ben-
goal to be guaranteed a point.
Yep.
So, what do you reckon? I reckon he'll do it.
So Dayton Urata kicked 7 against Gisborne in round 1. He kicked 11 against South Bendigo in round 3. This would be the biggest goal that he'll kick all season, and he's thumped it into the man on the mark. He got way too close, and now he just gives away a frustration free. That's a very big reprieve for the Dogs.
Oh, gee.
Well, he Clough that receives the free kick. It was his moment, wasn't it?
Game sealer.
It was a tough kick, though, in those conditions, but he never got the chance at it. Well, an attempted chew, but luckily fell in the hands of Young, who couldn't quite mark it, but rebounding now, Dragons will be Austin. He spots up a teammate. That's okay. That's Morris. Morris will now go deep into the pocket. His target was Day Wicks, but it was just a little severe for him. Goes towards the boundary line, and it'll be a ball in. 40 around from the Dragons' goal. That would have been interesting if it had sailed goalward, but it's gone the moment. Dragons still lead, however. 35, playing 26. They go up in the ruck. It's getting involved. Hands on the footy with Oliver Morris, who's been pretty good. Then he loses the footy. It goes to ground. Trying to make amends also was Whitshead and couldn't. And again, we'll do it. 30 metres out, 9-point margin.
This being down there, locked up, using up time.
So ball to be tossed back in. Deep forward for the Dragons at the Barnard Street end. Evans comes in from the side, taken off the back by Wicks. That'll be a free kick. That was just unfortunately, a lack of game acumen there from Archer Day Wicks. I don't think Dad Tim would be too pleased with that one. He took it off the pack, hadn't been touched by the ruck. Simpson smashes it into the middle of the ground. And it's cut off in the centre by Seb Morris.
Played well.
Right foot kick out toward right half forward, in from the back. Big fly from Patterson, couldn't take it. Long, high kick inside the forward. 50 Day Wicks in from the back. Terrific mark. Gee, he judged that well. He plucks it 45 out, 45-degree angle right of centre.
There's a player that sees the moment.
Sat under the high footy, came in from the back, clutched it to his chest. Archer Day Wicks. Is it his moment to capitalise on the opportunity? Kicked, won't have the journey, but he'll get a mark. It's been marked by Austin.
Sitting there in front of goal.
And Xavier Austin pulls it in. 25 metres out. He is directly in front. Starts his approach. 9-point game before the kick. And he misses. It just slid left to right. The door's ajar for the Dogs. 10 gone last term. The margin is 10.
Jeez, they could have iced this game a couple of times now, couldn't they? The Dragons, as the ball's kicked out. And, well, it makes its way to the wing. Soccer off the ground. Well, it's an attempt. It's a foot race. Oh, good dry weather football. It was done nicely by Wilson. Puts it inside forward 50. Then he tries to follow up his own ball. Dragons under pressure. Hurry kick. Slews. Banfield goes to a dangerous spot. Trying to get his hands on the footy was Long. Couldn't quite grab it. He's still involved. Now at 52 metres, it's come out. And momentarily, the Dragons, the pressure is relieved.
I'm looking at it this way, boys. Gisborne's got to kick 2 goals and they've only kicked 3 for the day.
Left half forward, doing the ruck work now for Evans. They need to hit the scoreboard and hit it quickly. It goes into the pocket. The target was Luxmore, who's been relatively quiet since halfway through that second term, over the boundary line, 15 metres around from the attacking Dogs' goal. 10-point margin, Dragons lead, 11 and a half minutes gone, final term.
Fresh Bendigo grand final footy at the QEO. John Hunter, Joel Peterson, Ben Dyatt with you. Shallow throw in. Evans forces his way to the front of the contest. Gentles goes through. It's thumped the other way by DeMail for the Dragons. Kick outside the defensive 50. Oliver Morris straight up and down the mine shaft. Slapped on by Day Wicks. Coming the other way, Minns. Handball forward to Kerr on the edge of the forward 50 for the Dogs. Got his arms free, got the handball away.
But it's taken away by Hartland, who kicked a goal in that opening term. Feeds it back by hand to Travaglia. His kick forward cut off by Jones of the Dogs. Now Clough of Gisborne loops the handball over his shoulder. There was a nest of them there. 3 Dogs standing in close quarters. Min soccers it off the ground toward full forward. Carr had a very nervous moment. Almost turned it over. Ainsworth slides in. Big physical stuff. Good play from Gillies. Now Carr's got it again. Throws it on the boot. Austin throws it on the boot. All Dogs, though, lining up at right half forward.
It'll come back quickly the other way. Goldwood through Freak. It goes into the pocket. They all set themselves. Spills to the back of the pack. Trying to get involved with Sam Wilson. Again, Luxmore comes hard at the footy. Offered support by Sam Wilson. Still... it was kicked out there to relieve the pressure. Travaglia, it's only momentarily, probably threw the footy out. Evans, he's pinged, and good defensive work, Dragons. They'll be rewarded, and it goes to Seb Collins.
And a stalemate in this term as far as scoring goes. A behind a piece margin at 10 as it was at 3/4 time. Collins turns it over. Oh, Kerr just couldn't hold on to it. Chance now for Farrelly. Kerr goes back in, mops up his own work. He's been very busy today. Handball toward the boundary line off the boot of Darcy Young, bounced on the chalk, out for a throw-in.
John, I think Kerr's had more handballs than he's had kicks. I wish he'd get rules. Kick the ball.
So right half forward, Gisborne into attack. Trailing by 10 points. They've trailed at every change. They have not led in the ball game, Gisborne. Barricade goes through. Ainsworth's been great. Handball out to Young, left it behind. It'll be turned over. Freak takes the intercept mark. He's 65 from home.
It's all about conversion now. Can they hit the scoreboard? He goes. He's just tried to spot up Luxmore. He has. What a kick it was. There wasn't much room to move. He had to be precise and was.
Where's that been all day, Ben Dyer?
Well, if ever they need him to kick a goal out of his, what's he kicked, 68 or so this year, they need this one.
The ball in was just, it was an elite kick. He meant it. Luxmore held his lead a little and just at the last moment hit him on the chest. He had no choice but to mark it.
Well, he had a nest of players around him, didn't he?
Harry Luxmore needs this goal if they're going to win the grand final, and kisses and kicks it. Geez, he had to wait a long time to celebrate as it tightens up the margin. Now that's his second. That goes to 4-8-32 to 4-12-36. Live score sponsor, Meat Matters.
Yeah, now what generally happens now is Gisborne get a goal, but then Sandhurst bounce back straight away and get another one. So they've got to shut him down. Blooming phone.
First rule of broadcasting, Ben.
The Magnificent Seven.
Yes. Well,
good, the bad, the ugly.
That was a magnificent 6 for Harry Luxmore. Pulled them back within 4. It is game on at the QEO. 3 times they've met this season. Gisborne haven't won. Sandhurst run it out of the middle. Austin with a bit of dash. Today Wicks kicks an absolute sky ball inside the forward 50. Bills is over to knock it away from Urata. He's done a good job down there today, Connor Bills, Ben.
Certainly has. Now this is where they want it. They can lock it up again, use up more time.
Another of those Gisborne players who's had senior experience. Played seniors in round 1, round 2, rounds 15 to 17. He's showing his wares out there.
Showing off with all these stats.
Ball thrown back into play. Whitshead slaps it out of the air. Gisborne across the defensive 50. Fox goes through. He's wrapped up, not coming away. DeMail was in on the tackle, and a ball up at half forward for Sandhurst. They lead by 4, 15 minutes gone, final term of the Under-18 Grand Final.
Up they go in the ruck, hurried kick off half back by the Dogs. It's not going to be effective, didn't really get some ground, but eventually, nice kick to the wing. Overrunning the footy there was Luxmore. Comes to half forward. Oh, there's 2 of them on. Who will pick it up? Like a dry ball. It was Lockins. He goes goalward. Oh, looking for a teammate in Wilson. How was the defensive punch from behind for the Dragons? Did well, and it goes over the boundary line and it'll be a ball in. I can't believe we're going to get another tight finish in an under-18 grand final.
Every year.
We're privileged to call it. At times it's the better game to call. Let's not moz the big game this afternoon because we've got a big afternoon of football. Good punch there was by Barricade. Will Clough be able to pick it up? He can't come off hands. And defensively, Dragons are doing pretty well in that back half. It might have been Delaney, did well. 20 around from goal, have a ball in.
17 minutes played, final term. Sandhurst have led throughout this ball game. Barraquet slaps it down in ruck, tried to go behind his head. Crashing through the pack was Lockens, who had the almost moment a couple of seconds ago at right half forward. Barraquet forces it clear of the contest. They fire in. Clough's over the top of it for the Dogs. Young gets the handball free, slapped out toward the boundary line by Seb Morris. They appeal for deliberate. They won't get it. We've seen that already in this game. And now there's a bit of push and shove, and there's a free kick. There's a free kick to Zach Patterson. Could undisciplined acts come back to haunt the Dragons?
I don't know, I reckon that was the non-officiating umpire, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Overruled.
So Zach Patterson with a set shot, 45 degree angle, 30 from home. We are right behind this. Gisborne have not led in this ball game. Patterson's got one already. He's got two. The Dogs are in front. Gisborne have raced into the lead. And a massive turnaround, a massive upset could be brewing here on grand final day. 5-8-38 Gisborne, Sandhurst 4-12-36, 18 through the last. Live score sponsor, Variety Superstore Strathvillage on Fresh Bendigo grand final footy.
Well, I think it was Robertson who gave the free kick away, but you can't get your head down there. There's still plenty of time. There's probably still another 10 minutes, maybe. Oh, well,
Whitsett
8 minutes.
goes into the ruck work for the Dragons. Couldn't quite win it, but offering support there was Austin, who was riding shotgun. He'll now go shallow inside forward 50. This is where the Dogs need to be careful as well. Series of handballs on the end of it. Ureta, he then does a volleyball tap inside forward 50. Picked up by Salvador. He was heading goalward, wasn't he?
Yep.
And it might be a free kick to go. Well, it's the Dogs. Is it Darcy Young that's got down there?
Bills.
He goes beyond 50 now to outer side wing. Dragons. Hurry kick was smothered there by Morris. Now it spills to the outer side wing. And the boundary line wins. Playing a long way up the ground was Luxmore. Let it go over. We'll have a ball in. Take a breath, as it's a 2-point margin. Gisborne, they lead, 19 and a half gone, final term.
Can we say, boys, the next goal wins it?
Yes, absolutely. What a game this has been. It has ebbed and flowed throughout. It's been a game of territory. It's been a game of moments. And Gisborne have had the big one in this final term. Clearing kick off the contest for the Dragons goes up the poolside wing. Gillies is over the top of the football. Minns in underneath it. And it'll be locked up. 5-8-38 Gisborne. Sandhurst 4-12-36. The Dogs have hit the front for the first time in the ball game at the 18-minute mark of the final term, having lost to Sandhurst on all three occasions this year, and none of them have been especially close. And here's a free kick for James Gentles for the Dogs at half-back.
He initially called it the other way there, Joel, as well, the free kick.
A kick is off the side of the boot, spills to Kerr. It's hacked the other way by Patterson. Bouncing ball now in front of Day Wicks. Hacks it off the ground, goes again, gets it inside the 50. Hartland at full forward, shoved off it. Great defensive work. Bouncing ball out to Kerr at half-back.
Oh, good, strong tackling. Sandhurst must get a free kick here. No, the umpire has said it was a legal, lawful disposal, so we'll just go with business as usual.
Yeah, put the whistle away.
I sense that, it was just Hartland probably should have been a bit stronger in the contest up forward. Will they get another chance at it? Ureta's in the area. Tried to kick it there was Morris. His kick was smothered. Wrap a blanket around. Nearly every player is in this contest here. Umpire letting it go now. Left half forward. Sandhurst attack. Barnard Street end. Still it goes on. Clough ties them up. And eventually we get a whistle on play for a stoppage. It's the Dogs by 2 points. 21 minutes gone.
The senior captain, Pat McKenna, walking past for the Dogs. Big job ahead of him and his side this afternoon. Perhaps this turnaround might inspire Gisborne in the senior footy. Of course, they're in action in the reserves. They've won the 17 and under netball. And they're threatening to cause a boil over here in the senior footy. 21 and a half gone. Dogs by 2 points. Salvador fights for it. Clearing kick by Barricade. Run down tackle on Delaney was good. Patterson got in there. He's kicked a couple in this game. A couple of very big goals. They fight for it again. Diving in on top of the football is Young. He can't clear it. Now there's a player sore. The trainers are calling for a stretcher to be brought out onto the ground. Kick goes inside forward 50 for Sandhurst. Ball's on the deck. Morris is lurking around the football. Spills out to Freak. And it's rushed across the boundary line. It'll be thrown back in. They're going to have to stop play here.
There's actually 2 players tangled up.
Urata's sore. And the other Gisborne player hasn't moved. And there was really evident concern shown by the trainers who rushed out there as soon as that contest happened. So Urata is very sore. He's going to have to almost be chaired off the ground here. And the Gisborne player who is on their back, we can't quite make out who it is. They're obscured by the trainers, but hopefully all is okay out there at ground level. 22 minutes gone in the final term. Gisborne 5-8-38. Sandhurst 4-12-36. Fresh Bendigo grand final footy.
He's moving his hands.
Yep.
I think the trainer's just saying keep still while we assess you.
Might be Clough, I think, who's just very gingerly making his way to his feet. And Urata's being chaired off the ground because he can't move.
It was very unusual. Both players were tangled up in a mess and they couldn't be separated when the trainers were looking at them. So
yeah, it is Clough who's come off for the Dogs.
So it's the Dragons who attack. They're 50 metres out from goal. The ball will be thrown in. Up they go in the ruck. A lot of players around the footy. All picked up there nicely by Austin, who went goalward, but it slews off the side of his boot and goes out of bounds for a ball in 15 metres around from their attacking goal. 2-point margin. Gisborne lead 38-36. 24 minutes have ticked over in the last term.
Crowd down there trying to find out how much time left from the timekeepers.
Ball thrown back in. There's no time left. It is a famous victory from Gisborne. Trailed all day. Lost to the Dragons on 3 occasions throughout the season. And on grand final day, they turn the tables. Gisborne win by 2 points in a classic under-18 grand final. 5-8-38 the Dogs. Sandhurst 4-12-36. Gisborne's 4th under-18 premiership in the Bendigo Football Netball League. And it is one to remember, one to savour down at Gardner Reserve.
Gee, well, I tell you what lost that game for the Dragons. I think it was an undisciplined act in the forward zone that swung it. It should not have happened, but it did. And take nothing away from Gisborne to continue to fight. And you mentioned, Ben, that at one stage there they had to kick more goals at one stage at one particular point in that final term than the whole game that they had kicked. So opportunities lost for Sandhurst, but take nothing away from what the Dogs achieved here this afternoon.
And once again, another great under-18 game.
We get them almost every year. The last time these two sides met, 2018, it was 3 points. We've seen games go into extra time, games go all the way down to the wire. The under-18s, they so often produce something special, and they have again today. I've got to run. Great fun to call with both of you. I don't know who you've selected as the best player, but I look forward to finding out in a couple of minutes.
Yes, well, it will be interesting who gets the better players for which club, and it could come from either club because, of course, it was so close this afternoon, wasn't it? Well, this morning, in fact. What a classic finish to an under-18 game. Sandhurst, they were kicking to the Barnard Street end, which was, well, not that a lot of scores have been put on the board this afternoon, but this morning there, Ben, but yeah, they were in attack. They had some opportunities then, and they needed to pull back that last undisciplined goal we saw by that was kicked by the Dogs.
It's amazing, a game that ebbed and flowed like that, but just one little incident has turned the game around. Yep,
and the grand final has been won here at the QEO in the under-18. Sandhurst, well, they 4-12-36. They have been defeated by a 2-point margin. It's the Dogs 5-8-36 in one of the classic games. So as both clubs are out into the middle. Now we've got to pick two of the better players. Are we announcing that on air? We are not announcing that on air. Now, Jared Ainsworth, you've picked out...
I like Jared Ainsworth.
What is it, in fact, that ultimately, overall, won Gisborne down?
Good morning, everyone. What a thrilling under-18 grand final we've just witnessed. So often classics that we see in the video
Run through the goal kickers for you.
and we've been treated to another one today between Sandhurst and Gisborne. We'll start our presentations with the umpires. Always a big day for our umpires as well for both of our football sides. To present the umpires with their medals, BFL board member Sam McGee, our field umpires, Aidan Clemens, Jack Anderson and David Carter. Boundary umpires, Jim Moore, Lucas Cannon, James Brown and Tom Reed. And our goal umpires, Daryl Cronk and Darren Boak. Thanks to our umpires who make such a great contribution to proceedings. A thrilling game, a 2-point win. It was an absolute classic. We'll invite the coach of the runners-up in Sandhurst, Jeremy Roby, to say a few words.
Just congratulations to Gisborne. We beat the 3 times here, we got us to the end, so well done. Put yourself around the back. Should really be proud of yourselves, pods there. Otherwise, should be really proud too. Huge year for us. No other words, just thank you to everyone behind the scenes watching, background, rugby, Bill, the whole Sandhurst Week Club supporters, and obviously thanks for the free week for hosting. So yeah, thank you.
Thanks to Jeremy Sandhurst in a 33rd under-18 grand final. Another from the Dragons. Our best on ground medals presented. There are 2 of them in under-18 football. We'll get Sam McGee to present the 2 of those. The Rod Ashman medal goes to the player adjudged best of field by the Fresh FM commentary team. From Gisborne, number 18, Jared Ainsworth. The WorkSafe AFL Victoria medal goes to the player adjudged second best to ground. Sam McGee will also present this. From Sandhurst, number 1, Luke Salvador. Terrific game from both of our medalists. Well done to Jared and to Luke. John Bryce from Sports Power will present the Premiership medals to our victorious Gisborne side, as well as the Premiership Cup for the under-18s in 2022. Welcome, John, and thanks to Sports Power for their support of the competition throughout the season. The number order from the Bulldogs. Number 1, Shane Clark.
Number 2, he kicked the winning goal, Zach Patterson. Number 3, Harry Luxmore. Number 4, Connor Bills. Number 7, Kane Mings. Number 8, Phoenix James. Number 9, Cameron Freak. Number 10, Sam Wilson. Number 12, Darcy Young. Number 13, Jack Ryan. Number 14, Matt Barraker. Number 15, Kane Patterson. Number 18, and the Ashman medalist, Jared Ainsworth. Number 21, Jesse Evans. Number 22, Sam Simpson. Number 23, Oscar Schnorr. Number 25, James Gentles. Can't leave without that, James. Number 29, Jackson Kerr. Number 30, Brody Andrews. Number 32, Spencer Jones. Co-captains, number 5, Darcy Lockins. And number 11, James Fox. And the coach of the victorious Under-18 Premiership side from Gisborne, Rob Kerr.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate Sandhurst on what's been a fantastic year. I must imagine it's very tough for you boys. I said to our group before the season started, Sandhurst had so much talent coming through last year, it was going to be hard to beat. And great to see that talent's emerge. A lot of good footballers in that group, and I hope you continue extremely well coached over the course of the season. To my boys, 30 Suns today. I said to them before the game, the Suns of Gisborne have brought the mist with them. Good weather helped, but this group didn't really come together until February. Early February, whether we were going to have a team or not. It's been a journey with Brad Fox and Jordan Ryan to get this group buried together, get the spirit and the fight that's needed to win when you come up against opposition like that. And the fight you showed today, boys, take that with you for the rest of your lives. Well done.
We'll get Darcy and James up, the two co-captains, and John Bryers to present the 2022 Under-18 Premiership Cup to the Gisborne Football Netball Club.